Okay, so let's see what Santa and D-Cell cooked up on this Monday. First up, with a deadline for franchise tag players to sign long-term deals coming up on Wednesday. One under-the-radar name is Bengals wideout A.J. Green. A.J. Green, seven-time Pro Bowler. He's set to earn nearly $18 million. It's a lot of money for a guy who's always hurt. On the franchise tag this year, and ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported this week, and the long-term deal with Green is unlikely before the Wednesday deadline. So, in or out, the Bengals should give Green a long-term deal over $16 million a season if he has a big year with rookie quarterback Joe Burrow.
Over 15. I want to say inbounds, BT, but it better be short one because you don't know, how viable he's going to stay. Now, again, last year there was speculation. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. There was speculation that A.J. Green actually could have played. He was somewhat healthy, but the reason that he was not playing was because he was holding out for a longer deal. Now, I don't know how true that is,
okay,
but, I mean, he was out for a really, really long time, and ultimately, when the season came to push and shove, he sat out the whole thing. I'm going to say inbounds of that, though, because if he's healthy, he's right. And I think the Bengals need a veteran to help Joe Burrow in his maturation process. And A.J. Green, we forget, with Andy Dalton, was one of the most prolific wide receiver quarterback combinations in football for a few years. So I'm going to say inbounds. And I think he's still young enough that he can get a couple, 3 years out of him.
I disagree on every conceivable level. Hard out of bounds for me. Yeah, I mean, just as a premise, sure, that would be great to have that. That veteran presence help the young quarterback. But Patrick Mahomes didn't really have a veteran like A.J. Green. He had Watkins around a couple of years. That's fine. But he's not the player A.J. Green is. I mean, I don't think that I need to pay somebody $16, $17, $18 million to...
That's cheap, by the way.
Well, it's not cheap if you're not always healthy. And to your point about last year, even if that's the case, let's say he was fully healthy and it was more of a contractual angle, leverage kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. What was the deal back in 2016 when he missed 6 games? Or what was the deal back in 2014 when he missed 3 games? Like, he's been hurt a lot. This is not a one-off here. He's a terrific player, and they've got some weapons. You and I have talked about one of the very sneaky, under-the-radar off-seasons was the Bengals. We don't talk about it because they're not a sexy team at this point and all that, but I just think there's a much more effective way to disperse that money and help a young roster take that next jump. Listen, A.J. Green he was a borderline transcendent talent. Mm-hmm. He really was. I mean, and a Hall of Fame arc, but he's in his 30s. He's had foot issues. That's a problem. I'm going to have to punt and pass on that. Out of bounds. I disagree.
By the way, don't forget Travis Kelce was there when Pat Mahomes came in. You forget how old Travis Kelce is.
How old's Kelce?
32.
27, right?
No.
He's 27.
No.
Kelce?
Travis Kelce is 32 years old, dude.
What?
Yes. He's going to be 32 this season.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive.
I mean, I should believe you on that, but are you sure?
I'm
How the
positive.
hell is he 32 years old?
He's 31, going to be 32 years old.
He's 30.
He's not 30.
I'm looking at it. He's 30. He's born October 5th. Who's feeding you this erroneous nonsense?
31. He's going to be 31 years old in the middle of the season.
Okay, but he's 30 now. You told me that he's 31. 30.
Okay, so when Pat Mahomes came into the league, he was 5 years into the league. He was 6 years into the league.
But he was in his 20s.
And he was a stud.
In his 30s now.
And he was a stud. His first year, he was 29 years old when Pat Mahomes started. He's 29.
Well, no, because Mahomes has started for 2, so he was 28. He was 28. It doesn't really matter. What are we even debating here? It's nickel and diamond.
Whatever. I'm looking at Pro Football Reference 2017 when Pat Mahomes played 1 game. Travis Kelce was 28 years old.
Russell Westbrook, all right, 3 years removed from the MVP and 1 year from a third consecutive triple-double season. However, Westbrook's numbers have gone down. First year in Houston, they've dropped a little bit, averaging just 8 rebounds and 7 assists. Now, over the weekend, Bleacher Report ranked the top 100 players for the season, putting Westbrook 23rd overall. Wow. To which the 31-year-old responded with a long that was a H-A and a lot of them. In or out, Russell Westbrook is still a top 15 player in the NBA. We got
I'm going to say inbounds to that, BT. I like Russell Westbrook. I like his game in an offense like the Houston Rockets have been playing. Not that I think it's going to be championship viable, but it is fun as hell, and it suits his skill set perfectly because they all play around the perimeter, which creates massive lanes for him to run and score. And because everybody else can shoot three-pointers, he doesn't have to. He takes these horrible three-pointers when he thinks he has to be the man. And the Houston Rockets have an offensive system that fits him, I think, perfectly. So I'm going to say inbounds to that.
I'm going to say out of bounds. I just don't quite view him that way. I understand what you're saying about the doesn't really need to shoot threes, but you are a guard. So on some level, you do kind of need to shoot some threes. And when you've had 3 straight seasons, as he had, sub 30% from downtown, I don't need you to be 37, 38, but you don't have to be Bradley Beal or Devin Booker, maybe, but you got to at least be functional. He is way below league average for that position from a very important aspect of the game. He's not a kid anymore, but he still has elite burst. I'm not saying he's decaying athletically, but he's 31. Now he's 31.
Yeah.
I would say, I wrote down some names before. No order, obviously. LeBron, Kawhi, AD, Lillard, Tatum, Doncic, Giannis, Curry, KD, Harden.
Lillard? You're putting Lillard over him?
Yes.
Lillard's never won an MVP, man.
I don't care. Damian Lillard today is better than Russell Westbrook today.
Okay.
Jokic, Embiid, Beal. I mean, these are all names. Listen, obviously,
I know, but
it's
you're putting some
subjective,
you're putting some non-MVPs up there, BT. That's all I'm saying.
When did he win the MVP?
Dude, he won. Russell Westbrook?
Yeah.
He won the MVP?
No, I'm saying, when did he win it? 3 years ago.
Was it
so how about this?
Yeah, 3 years ago, because Harden won in between.
Ago.
Yeah.
The next time we negotiate, which will be probably pretty soon, by the way, our CBS contract, what you and I should do, tell us how far this would get our contracts. Let's pull the show from 3 years, our best show from 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Hey, this is what we used to do. We're kind of mailing it in. Not that he's mailing it in, Russell, but you get the point. 3 years ago means nothing, especially in an athletic-based sport. I mean, in terms of all-time ranking, it matters. Right now, it means nothing.
Yeah.
And Damian Lillard is absolutely better than Russell Westbrook. Absolutely.
The most important thing is we hope he's healthy after this COVID-19 test.
That's true. That is true. All right, the Blue Jays, bit of a pickle this year pertaining to their parks. Facing challenges of playing in Canada during the pandemic after it was revealed the team would basically be quarantined from the stadium and the adjoining hotel if games are played in Toronto. Travis Shaw lashed out. He tweeted, "All summer isn't going to happen. Not an option," end quote. Later apologized, and I read over the weekend the Blue Jays are threatening fining their players $750,000. Good luck with that with the Players Union.
Wow.
That's never going to happen. Yeah, $750,000. That's crazy. So Shaw apologized, and the team has reportedly reached out to, I wonder who said that this could be an option 2 weeks ago on the show. Your partner did, me, their AAA affiliate in Buffalo, about playing in upstate New York. So, in or out, it would be better for the Blue Jays to play in a AAA ballpark rather than their home stadium in Toronto.
I'm going to say inbounds, BT. If they're having problems, or at least they're forecasting problems getting games in, because we know that the MLB is very different than basketball. They're not isolating like basketball is.
Nope.
Then I'm going to say inbounds to that, because fans aren't going to be there anyways.
Yep.
And if there are, there's going to be a limited number. People travel over the border, even though that might be even harder, given how the regulations are right now. But either way, fans aren't going to be there. You might as well play in a manageable ballpark. So I'm going to say inbounds. I
would agree with you on this one. I say inbounds as well. It's not about amenities at this point, and I know they pumped in some money. Granted, it's been a little while now because they were pursuing one of the expansion teams, which was the Rockies, one of them, obviously. But so they were preparing for an infusion of a major league team to Buffalo. So they are, at least the infrastructure is somewhat prepared. It's more than adequate. There's no fans, so that's parking. That's immaterial. It's not like it's a small stadium, and you play in front of 45,000 in the Bronx, and you play in front of 18,000 or 20, whatever it might be up in Buffalo. That doesn't matter at all. I agree. I think it's just a smart play. And there's no minor league baseball, so you don't have to worry about the affiliate getting in the way. Inbounds, easy call for me.
Tune in next time for another edition of Inbounds or Out of Bounds with Tiki and Tierney.